Hey guys, Jill Coleman here with Metabolic Effect and Jill Fit Physiques. I'm currently traveling, and I've actually been traveling for the last 3 to 4 weeks with being home just a couple of nights. And if you guys travel, especially for work or for, just leisure time or whatever, a lot of you guys know it's so hard sometimes to always have control over what we're eating when we're on the road. However, living the fat loss lifestyle is all about making the right choices wherever you end up. So I wanted to use this opportunity in this video to tell you a couple of tools that I use when I'm traveling so that I don't freak out and I also don't completely go off the deep end and eat whatever I want. A lot of times people, when they travel, they use it as an excuse for their healthy eating to go on vacation as well. However, wherever you end up, if you know a couple of key rules, then it's just fine. You'll be just fine making the right decisions wherever you end up. So a couple of things first. At restaurants, at the buffets, at hotels, anywhere you end up, you can usually get a mixed green salad with grilled chicken on top with a balsamic vinaigrette or some sort of vinaigrette dressing. Try not to freak out about maybe a little bit of marinade on the protein or a little bit of sauce or some salt or some butter. That stuff is really small rocks, and if you're doing a competition prep, then that would be more important. However, if you're just trying to maintain and not really having to lose a ton of fat really quickly like you would during a crash diet or during a competition prep, that stuff isn't going to hinder your results and actually can add to the satisfaction of the meal, and it's not going to put that much fat on you if you're staying away from what I call BBDs, okay? BBDs. It's bread, booze, and dessert. Those are the three things that I worry about when I go to restaurants. So BBD, remember that, bread, booze, and dessert. Stay away from those three things. Don't worry about a little sauce or marinade or butter or anything like that. That's fine. You'll do just fine with that. However, a lot of times when we travel, we don't get to exercise quite as much as we would if we were home. We don't have our gym. We don't have, back and forth. We have our classes that we like, our personal trainer, whatever, and we're just busier. So what do you do if you can't exercise quite as much? What I do is I just have to monitor my food intake a little bit more. And luckily, the more exercise I do, the more my appetite goes up, but the reverse is also true. If I'm not doing as much exercise, I'm simply not as hungry. And I think that you'll find that this to be true for you. And so you just have to cut back a little bit on the volume of the food that you eat. And usually that's not all that hard because we're busy anyway and you're not exercising as much. So monitoring the amount of meals. So say, like for example, at home, I usually eat 4 meals a day. That's just what works for me. When I travel, I usually have 2 bigger meals and a snack, or maybe even 2 snacks. So it's just smaller. I usually have a bigger breakfast and then I have a bigger dinner, and that's pretty much it. In between that, I might use a couple of my favorite protein bars or some fruit. So a couple of protein bars that I like and that I always carry with me is Think Thin. Okay, so Think Thin, it's higher in protein, lower in sugar. It does have a little bit of soy protein, which isn't that great, but it does have whey as well. The next one is Luna. Make sure you get the protein version. This one is good because it does have a little bit of extra protein and it fits the ME label rule fine. So you can find ones that have higher protein, lower sugar, do the ME label rule to see if it works for you, and have those maybe 1 or 2 a day and then have 1 or 2 bigger meals. And I think you'll find if you try that, you're not starving. You will definitely be just a little bit, will be fine. So for me, when I travel, I do less food, but it's not all that hard because I'm not exercising as much as well. The last piece when you're traveling is tons and tons of water. We tend to get really dehydrated, especially when we fly and we're in different time zones, and we're not usually paying attention to this. At home, we're more in control of it. What I do is I always just try and pick up, even if it's at a gas station or if I hit a grocery store, pick up 1.5 liters of water, and then you can always fill it up. Usually at the hotel, in the gyms at hotels, they usually have water. You can just fill up your bottle right there. So those are my big things. So remember, eating at restaurants, you can always get a salad with a lean piece of protein, or you can get a piece of protein with vegetables, extra vegetables, salad. That stuff is available anywhere. Snacks, 1 to 2 a day, and then 1 to 2 bigger meals per day. So watch. I would say I'm not huge on calorie count or anything like that, but I think it is key to watch the amount of food that you eat when you travel. You just have to take in a little bit less food if you're not working out. And then the last thing, of course, is water. Stay hydrated. It gets away from us a lot of times when we travel. It's so important, so make sure that you make that conscious effort to do that. So I hope that helps you guys, and I will see you next time.